We will actually get started with our first speaker, which is Nurit Anati from Jerusalem, Israel. Nurit started Aikido at age 17 after telling her karate instructor that she was quitting for another martial art. He said, "No, which martial art?" She said, "Aikido." And he said, "Well, if it's Aikido, okay." So she's been training and teaching for many years and says that Aikido has been her greatest teacher. She loves using Aiki wisdom, working with caregivers and families of people with special needs, and to help her be a better mother, wife, and person. So with that, Nurit, I will turn it over to you. Please share with us your Aikido love story.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for inviting me. Actually, it was very exciting for me to look backwards at all the years of Aikido, and it was like looking back at the story of my life, because Aikido has been part of my life for so many years. I've been training much more years than I've been not training. I mean, most of my life I've been practicing Aikido, and there have been so many phases that it's like looking back at the story of my life, because at each phase I was looking for something else and falling in love with something else in Aikido, and it's amazing for me to see how Aikido has always been relevant for my life, no matter what stage I was in, no matter what I was looking for in life. Um, I had many hobbies, and each hobby played a role in a certain phase of my life, and then became irrelevant, so I left it behind. But Aikido seems to always be relevant, whether I train like 7 times a week, and doing eating, sleeping, and thinking Aikido all day long, or like nowadays when I see the dojo maybe once a month, but Aikido is always in my heart, like it's always a part of me, and it's become, I think, part of my personality, part of my existence. So I'll share a bit the different phases and different things in Aikido I fell in love with. And in the beginning, it was like just martial art. It was the fun of movement, and fun of rolling, and fun of um, learning these great techniques, and all those um, things that make people fall, and it was like it was cool. So that was the first thing that drew me to, I think, to Aikido, was the fun, the sheer fun of it. And later on, um, it helped me as a young woman, like trying to create herself in the world, as we all do at that age of the late teens. Um, it helped me understand what being present is. It helped me be like experience my center, my presence, and like being there, which was it was very meaningful for me at that time, learning to be there, learning to be present, learning to know my power. um, that was one stage. Later on, I gradually fell in love with the connection with others, the I think you all know what I mean when I say the connection, because there's no connection like in Aikido, like to connect to another person, center to center, with no barriers, with no bullshit, just you and the other person, and it's a sacred, like very very powerful connection, and it's not like anything else. And people are used to having either like maybe a romantic connection that is that powerful, or violent connection that is also very powerful. Like to be connected to another person in a violent situation is very powerful and very intimate, but it's not something I want. And to be romantically or sexually involved with another person is also very powerful, but it's not something I want with every person all the time.
And I'll
And
say
most
one
people
more
don't have
minute,
anything.
Nurit.
No,
I know,
I
crazy,
could,
right?
I could talk for a whole day about Aikido. Really, it's one of my favorite
Tell us
subjects.
about your work a little.
Anyway,
Exactly. Avodah.
okay. So anyway, so connecting to another person, that was my life mission. Like I live for to be connected with other people, and that's been going on for quite a while. And then I realized that was not the meaning of life, although it was very special part of life. That's not the meaning of life, and I was looking for like the meaning, something more meaningful. And for a while, I was looking through Aikido like as a spiritual path, and so that was another phase, using Aikido as a means of spiritually evolving and becoming a better person and looking for the meaning of life. And so I guess I have only 1 minute left, so I'll make it quick. And no, before Avodah, before the project, I found finally I found what I deem as the purpose of life. I find a spiritual path, which is not Aikido. So now Aikido doesn't is not anymore my spiritual path, but it's still relevant, because through Aikido I can work on the various aspects of self-improvement that I do as my spiritual path. My spiritual path is now Falun Gong. If anybody knows it, it's Chinese spiritual system, but Aikido is still very relevant as part of life. And finally, for the past 20 years, I've been developing with other people, other martial artists and caregivers and professionals, a system for coping with challenging behaviors of people with special needs. I think many Aikidokas all over the world have found this niche, because it's so Aikido. The principles of Aikido are so helpful in such situations. When somebody is really in distress and acts it out physically, which is can be very scary for the people around him. But when you use the Aikido principles and you don't object and you don't go against, and you flow with the person, and you really want to be there for them, so it resolves the conflict in a very nice way. So I could go on forever, Aikido. I can't have enough of talking about Aikido, but and also like it's second best of the after training. Thanks everybody for listening.